Welcome back, superstars. My name is Aaron. I still can't believe it's not butter. And you're listening to SuperPod Saga. Hello, yes, welcome back. I am your host, Aaron. Cup Squad, have a seat, sit on down. Hey, this is SuperPod Saga, your favorite podcast in the whole wide world. No other podcasts matter. Just this one. This is the only one. This is the podcast. But yeah, for any first-time listeners, this is the podcast where each week we talk about a different video game topic with a different guest. And our topic today, we're talking about games that we think are perfect. But let's introduce our mystery guests. Ooh, let's
Oh yeah!
throw one of those in there. First off, we've got Gerry from Super Ghost Radio and the greatest collaboration of all time, Retro Rehab. Hello.
Hey. What's up?
Let me throw another one of these in here real fast. How are things, Gerry? How's that grill, by the way?
Are you talking about my teeth? Because I did get a new grill. For the listeners out there, you probably can't see it, but I did install 2 platinum teeth and 3 gold.
Ooh.
So it's lopsided, so like it doesn't actually it's not symmetrical in my mouth. So it looks kind of stupid, but do you have platinum teeth? I don't think so. So grill's looking good.
I wish I did.
And then the barbecue that I was fixing up this morning is also fine, I guess.
What the hell is that? No, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, they look beautiful though.
My sparklies.
Gerry, go ahead and for the listeners, if they haven't already heard of you or your show, God forbid, go ahead and tell them where they can find you and your show and what games you like, and maybe your favorite. I don't know, your favorite soda.
Favorite sex position is usually
missionary.
Inverse cowgirl. Inverse cowgirl.
Inverse.
Are you looking it up?
No, I should though. I'm afraid to actually.
I don't know what that means or if it exists. But no, I'm Gerry from Super Ghost Radio, and you can get that on all your favorite podcast platforms. And I'm also one half of the greatest collaboration of all time on Retro Rehab, and you can get that on all your favorite podcasting platforms as well.
That's right. Great show. Recommend it. Heard Vim was recently on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Vim was definitely on.
He was there, man.
And we made 2 jokes about tattooing things on our chest to Vim.
We're unhinged.
Poor Vim.
Yeah, Rip Vim. Miss you already, bud. Speaking of Rip, our second mystery guest, it's the man, the myth, the legend himself. It's Tommy.
Hey, I'm back from the dead. Hello.
How are you, Tommy? How are things? How's cyberspace and all that?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very good. Cyberspace is treating me kind. Things are going good for me. It's weird.
Oh, yeah!
It's weird. It's like I'm back in my hometown, but everything's different. You're using a different podcasting software. I'm very uncomfortable.
Maybe next time we can record with Zencaster in the back arcade area of the Pizza Ranch in Haywarden. Make it feel all homey.
No, we need to go all the way back where I just record my screen and then take that and convert it into audio.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
Did you actually used to do that?
Yeah, that's how we started out.
Oh my god.
I'd be like, Tommy, can you send me that audio file so I can edit the episode? And he'd be like, yeah, give me about 2 hours so I can convert to an MP3.
I used to record inside of my walk-in closet.
Oh,
and it felt ridiculous.
Hell yeah. That sounds cozy.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't a very big walk-in closet.
One step walking.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, Tommy, do you have anything you'd like to plug here? You want to talk about maybe your favorite soda or something?
I work at a bank. I'm the operations specialist. So if you have any banking needs in the Midwest, reach out to me. We'll take your money. I had a YouTube channel that I haven't uploaded in 2 years. So if you want to check out Amateur Hour Gaming on YouTube, I don't upload it anymore. I have no plans to make more videos, but it's there.
Oh
Awesome.
yeah!
Yeah, and Tommy, if you haven't already figured it out, he's Judge Brad in Discord. I've made like a million jokes. Yes, Tommy.
Oh my gosh, I hope people know it's me. Otherwise, I'd be really hard on you.
Yeah, that's Tommy and Gerry. We do not have a Discord or Discord Q&A to do this time around because, well, first of all, it's as of recording, it's Cinco de Mayo, boys. Hey.
Cool.
Oh, I should have put that in the soundboard. Fuck.
Dang it.
Missed opportunity.
You should just play the Samba de Amigo theme.
Ooh, Samba de Ami. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Feliz Navidad, everyone.
Nachos Navidad or whatever Tommy said.
Or just play that Rammstein song, Te Quiero Puta.
That's a Rammstein song.
Yeah, it's good too.
That's cool.
Yeah, it means I love you, bitch.
Beautiful, poetic, even.
That's what they're known for.
Well, yeah, this is a special occasion. Not only because it's Cinco de Mayo, the most holiest of days, the Lord's Day. It's also Superpod Saga's 100th episode. Woo!
We did it.
Oh yeah!
We made it.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Giving you a soundboard was the
I know.
most dangerous thing that could have ever happened.
It's like giving me a gun, except way worse. At least the gun you can put
Yes,
safety
way
on it.
worse. Or lock it up.
Yeah, put it in a gun cabinet. Yeah, so episode 100. Woo! We did it.
Woo!
We made it 100 episodes. Superpod
Me
Saga.
specifically, I did it.
Yeah. Yep, Tommy, you did the whole ride. So, for the first little bit of this episode, I thought we would just kind of lean our seats back, put our arms and feet up, and just kind of reminisce about a little the history of Superpod Saga, what it's been through. That fight with Cell was fucking brutal. The Amber Heard Johnny Depp case. I'm just kidding. We didn't have anything to do with any of that.
Memories.
Yeah. When this started, though, I was actually unemployed, so I had like all the time in the world to record and edit and plan stuff, and that was the boom time when we started with like 0 followers, 0 anything, and it's crazy to be where it's at now. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, it's really insane, man. It's I've been through like maybe 6 different mics this whole like little journey.
Mhm.
Like when we started, I just used my Xbox headset and I recorded through my phone, and it sounded like
Yeah.
ass
Oh
in
my
the trailer episode, which is still up.
I
By
feel
the way.
so bad for that. I feel so bad for people listening to that because they're going to be like, "This is trash quality."
Yeah,
I do the same thing too with Super Ghost. Like I go back and I listen to like the first few episodes and I'm like, don't, you know what? When you start this show, don't like start at like the newest one. Don't even listen to the old shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Just
it
put a
sounds
content warning.
bad.
yeah. Warning: this sounds like butthole. Yeah, but I think shortly after we recorded the trailer, I think that's when I got my laptop, or maybe it was after episode 1. Got a laptop, got a lapel mic that also sucked ass. Got another mic after that, which also sucked ass, and now I'm at the mic I have now. And woohoo! I actually sound
Woo.
good.
You do.
Yeah.
I can hear the emotion in your voice.
Woohoo! What little there is.
Do you remember one of our first major Twitter fans? I don't want to say his name because I looked and his account still exists. But like,
Was he a stalker?
what?
Early on, like there was one person that commented on all our stuff, and then like after a couple months, messaged you about the fan getting more Twitter followers.
Oh yeah, he was like, "Oh, I could get you so many more followers if you let me get like the porn bots on your account or something. Like,
What?
get a bunch of porn
Yeah.
bot followers to boost
He
our
was like, "Hey,
numbers."
I've got a collection of porn bot followers. If you guys want to up your follower count." And we were like, no, thank
Yeah,
you.
no.
And he's like, okay, well, just so you know, like, I'm going to stop talking to you guys then, if that's the case.
What?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You don't want this porn? Then get the fuck out.
I think he follows the show on Threads or Instagram or something, and like he used to post funny shit every so often, but now it's just like about him in like Czechoslovakia or wherever the fuck he's from. I don't remember.
That's such a weird thing.
This is
Do you want porn bot? Then I will leave.
Comrade.
It was so depressing because that was like our one fan early on that was always there for us, and he's like, "I bring porn butts."
I have a wide selection of porn butts for you, please. I will sell to you at smooth price.
Oh my fucking god, dude! And then we had to record. We had to re-record episode 2. I think like 3 times.
Oh, did he
'cause-
invade it with
No,
porn bots?
no. Craig was Craig. Craig was just an asshole.
Fucking
Oh my
Craig.
gosh, Craig! I forgot about Craig. That
Fucking
complete
Craig.
asshole.
It was so cool at the time because you were just like, Craig, start recording, and then he's now recording or whatever the fuck he says.
Oh
Yeah.
god, I hate
Yeah.
that thing. It's so jarring, and
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
it sounds like something that you would hear on like a Kodi setup that someone's really proud of, like their Kodi server thing, like, and it would be like starting recording, and it has like that really robotic voice, and it sounds so fucking stupid.
It really does, dude.
Craig's never done me dirty though.
Oh, we had tons of problems. He would always just drop out. I think it might have been just my internet connection or something, but we'd be done, and then we'd look at what it had recorded, and it like cut off 10 minutes in.
Also, for anybody that doesn't know what Craig is, we're not talking about a person.
Oh yeah. Craig is a bot. It's a
Discord bot.
not a porn bot.
It's not.
but, like,
It's not like Tommy's fucking secondhand cousin or something. That's just like it.
Oh yeah!
I'm gonna lose my shit. Yeah, Craig is recording bot in Discord. Oh fuck. What else is there, man?
We didn't always have guests. Guests was something that started later on, and I am very impressed that like 95% of the guests are super cool and fun and like positive about video games, because I know that there are some podcasts out there where there's just constant negativity and bashing stuff. So shout out to anyone who's guested on the show. It literally wouldn't be here without you guys too.
Yeah.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah, Gerry.
It's Gerry.
We've had a lot of returning guests that come on the show, and I'm glad that that Superpod Saga has retained its like games are fun, like positive
Yes.
attitude. I fucking despise when people come on and they're like, I guess
They just
unless the
shit on
topic,
stuff.
yeah, like unless the topic is like disappointing games or something like that. But yeah.
There's something different about like having some fun, like when we shit on Bebe's kids. It's not like
Yeah, dude.
it's not like we
Yeah.
make that
Yeah.
all like that's not our identity. Where we're like, you know what, man? Like let me tell you how Bebe's kids did me dirty this week alone. Like we're not fucking talking about games and like content creators or anything like that, like
Yeah.
negative. And like we're the same way over on Super Ghost and even on Retro Rehab. Like on Retro Rehab, we shit on games all the time, but like that's not what it's about. It's but all the majority of the shows that we're all kind of like intertwined within this podcasting community, like none of them really like have this thing where it's like come on our show and just talk shit about other things.
Yeah. When we did the Pokemon episode, which was like one of the longest ones we recorded at the time because we were idiots and we're like, let's talk about every single Pokemon game. It got to the point where we got to Scarlet and Violet and I just started yelling, and it was I felt bad afterwards, but I was like, but it needed to be said. And we also like built up the other Pokemon games too. It was like a comparison, like you can talk bad about something to show that other things are good.
It's not our fault.
Oh, don't get me
that-
wrong. I love shitting on bad games, but
Yeah.
like, and I don't make that the focal point of the
Yes.
content because
Yeah.
that gets. I feel like shitting on stuff is funny in the right like context and moment, but like if
Mhm.
you make everything about that, it just kind of gets boring.
Yeah,
Yes. I agree with you. Gerry.
yeah, man. AVGN did all of that like decades ago.
Yeah,
Which,
right? And
Yeah,
it's funny, like it's almost like it's a weird like appreciation thing. Like he is shitting so hard and heavy on fucking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but like I'm sure that was like a nostalgic thing for him too. Like
yeah.
he grew up hating that game, but like at the same time, like revisiting that game. I mean, I could revisit fucking Bubsy 2 right now and be like, yeah, I rented this all the time as a kid. Is this a good game? Absolutely not. But I mean, I still have like this nostalgia for it.
Oh man, I've been looking through our episodes a little bit here and there. We had our first guest on episode. I gotta find it again. Episode 9. We had Grant, who we
Oh yeah, I don't know if that counts.
we went to
That guy
high
sucks.
we went to high school with Grant. He's a cool guy.
He is.
Let's see. Then there was episode 14 with Nova, my brother-in-law, who's also in the root
Yep.
beer tier list. That's a good one.
Mm.
And then we got to about episode 19, and that's actually no wait, hang on.
Is that when you had Trump on?
I fucking wish. No, I'm kidding. I think.
Superpod really blew up then.
Let's see, October 27th. Yeah, episode 19, canceled games. That's when we went on like kind of a hiatus for a little bit because yeah, Tommy started his new job. Time was a big factor there.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, going from not having a job to having a job really cuts into your free time.
Goddamn jobs.
When was that episode where the guest started? What date was that?
With like episode 9 or
No, the next one.
Let's see. So after episode 19, we took a break. Episode 19 came out October 27th. Then the next episode after that, which was still just me and you, actually, was
What year?
2022.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, we took a break from October 27th to November 12th. We recorded an episode, and then from November 12th to December 1st, we got another episode out. And that's when I was like, hey, I should just start doing some solo episodes with guests. And then Bill, Gaming and Collecting
Yes.
Bill, our first, like, I guess you could say gaming podcaster guest, because Grant is a podcaster too.
Yeah. And that was around the time of the big tweet.
Oh,
Was
Changed
it?
the trajectory.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember the
Mm.
big tweet. I remember
was-
that.
January 15th, 2023 is when I sent that out. For those who aren't aware, I tweeted, "What is the most useless piece of video game knowledge you know?" And it
It's
changed
so
the
insane.
trajectory of life on Earth forever.
It's so insane. It's funny too because like I remember like I was talking with you guys because I got invited to the indie podcasting Discord.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew you guys, and like, you know, everybody was kind of like shooting out collaboration opportunities and stuff, and like I think we were only like maybe a year in at that point, and I connected with, I don't know who was on the other end, whether it was Aaron or Tommy, but
It was probably me.
It was always Aaron.
Yeah.
Always.
so like I remember like I started following, we followed each other on Twitter and stuff, and then like I messaged you guys on Twitter and I was like, we should totally do an episode together sometime. We were like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. And then I remember like not long after that, maybe like a month or two, is when that tweet hit, and you guys said that like your inbox was just like, want to collab, like everybody then was like, oh, I definitely want to collab now. Yeah, sure, let's collab now.
And that's when I was like, I got to make time for this to work now. I got to things are happening. That tweet as of right now is viewed by 143 million people.
God damn, man.
There were
That's so insane.
articles written on Kotaku and PC Gamer, and we have a Know Your Meme page.
That's
So-
true.
That's when you know you've hit it big.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's
But just know that I loved you guys when you were poor before you
Yeah.
were
Thank you.
when we were in the slum. I think Jerry, I think we started talking. I made a tweet about like, hey, I'm gonna play every Chemco shit ass ballsack RPG and record it on YouTube, and you were like, no joke, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
And then I came back. We kept having guests. We kept having fun times.
Yeah, you can.
And then
I did what is it? So I did one episode with Bill, and then you and I managed to scrape ourselves together to do the favorite games of 2022.
mhm.
And then I did another solo episode, and then we had Jared on to talk about Pokemon. The rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah, and then after trying for multiple years, my wife got pregnant, and we're having our first baby, and so I was like, okay, now I really am not going to have time.
Yep. Yeah, man. What a wild.
And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't want to like. I apologize to the fans who miss me. I feel bad that like I can't be there for them, but I know that Aaron and all the guests and everyone are doing such a good job at keeping it going. Like that's one of the biggest fears I had when we started was like, what if we run out of things to talk about? What if we run out of topics? And so the fact that there's been a continuous stream of good ideas of topics to talk about and then having good conversations with those is chef's kiss.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah. What did you guys like when you started Superpod Saga? What was like the basis? Like what was your initial intention for the show? Because like what ours was way different from what it is now.
It was we wanted episodes to be evergreen so that they weren't like you wouldn't listen to them. Like we didn't want any news, we didn't want any current events or anything like that because that's going to date your podcast. No one's going to come back to listen to a podcast from 2 years ago where they talk about
That's clever, yeah.
the current happenings. So we wanted to just be a different topic every week that you can listen to at any time. Like you can still go back and listen to our favorite Nintendo Wii games. You can listen to that anytime you want. And always positive, always championing good games and the good things that they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ours was going to be a horror podcast.
Oh wow.
Oh, I
Yeah.
could see that was
Like
super.
we were
Ghost.
gonna
Okay.
we were gonna start focusing more so on like survival horror games and stuff. And then by the like as we were kind of like creating this idea, because Greg and Beth weren't the original hosts with me. I wasn't even the original host of Super Ghost Radio.
What the hell?
Yeah. So I did a podcast with Sam, who you Aaron,
yeah,
you
yeah.
met him on the anti game of the year. Him and I have been friends since like 2015. We went to a fucking metal festival. Me and my buddy Dallo went to Montreal for Heavy Montreal, which is a 3-day long metal festival.
Damn.
And when we got to the hotel, we see these guys like kind of like huddled together, and they're like talking and being like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Like they don't have our, and we were like, what's up guys? Like, because we could tell like we all had like fucking Meshuggah shirts and like goddamn like Dream Theater shirts and shit on, and then like
Hell yeah, dude.
you know, like we knew they were metalheads, and we were like, what's up? And they were like, oh well, we just drove up from Rhode Island and we don't have a hotel room apparently. So we like bonded with them, and Sam was one of those people in that group, and him and I just became friends. And it was crazy because he was already podcasting at that point, because like people someone recognized him like when we were down on the field.
That's
They were
cool
like,
as
hey, I
shit.
know you from that YouTube channel. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then yeah, him and I like always stayed in touch, and then he wanted me to come on one of his shows, and he liked doing it with me so much. He was like, man, we should do like a podcast together sometime. And I was like, all right, let's fucking do it. So we started getting it going. He was the host of Super Ghost for like the first two or three episodes, I think. Yeah, it was like 2 or 3
Whoa.
episodes. And then he got busy with his own, and I was like, well, fuck, what do I do now? So I was like, Beth, you should hop on this podcast like for an episode. And she was like, okay. So she hopped on for one of them, and then I got her to come back for the next one and got Greg to join that one. And that one was episode 4, which was the one that we did on Final Fantasy 14 online, and that was kind of when it became what it was.
Hell yeah.
But it's weird how podcasts initially start and how they are now. Like
Absolutely.
you kind of evolve over time without even really knowing it. It's crazy.
And I want people to know that the trajectory of Superpod Saga becoming as big as it is, I give most of that credit to Aaron, because he was the one who was pushing for more stuff, like even like starting a Discord or creating a YouTube channel, or just so many amazing ideas that I couldn't always help him with.
That's okay.
The reason of the inside joke of me not being real is because I was like that dad that was never around.
hold on. So
Aaron would be like, Aaron would bring his school project and would be like, tell me, Dad, look at this thing I did. Isn't this neat? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. I'm not going to see you till Sunday. So
Look at this macaroni art I made. God damn it. We could have had that for supper.
Not now. I'm watching my stories or some shit.
Just cracking a
I'm
beer.
just typing things into my bank computer. Like, yeah, that's great, Aaron. That's real great. We got to get these numbers up.
The money don't stop. The money don't stop. But like, to be fair though, when we first started, I'm pretty sure it was you doing everything. Like
Yes.
you did the initial cover art, which is still like
Awful.
still awesome. What do you tell? So it's my face and Tommy's face. We both have mustaches. And it's like a green background. It just says Super
Oh my
Pod
gosh.
Saga. It's so good.
Do you remember our first intro music?
Oh, the Tetris stuff?
Yeah, because I was like, Tetris is in the public domain. I'll just make a fun little electronic remix of it, not knowing how to do anything with music. So I just went to some website and tried like placing blocks on a line thing, and I was like, this is impossible.
Yeah. Oh,
and we still
man.
used it anyway.
Oh my god, I would love to hear that. I should go back and try to like.
Did we change it out of the old episodes? I don't remember.
I think I did
because it was really bad. It was. Like,
I just picture it being like
genuinely
like as best you can possibly get to the Tetris theme, but it's not actually the Tetris theme.
Oh,
it's
it
just
wasn't
like
even close,
a couple of notes that like match the Tetris theme, and it's like not even the right like sync or like pace. It's just like
Yeah.
It was, I remember for a couple of them, it was more like doot 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 with like heavy echoes, like doot.
Yeah, I put a ton of echo to try and mask things.
Doot 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 doot.
And then it would just end, and then we'd be like, "It's Eric."
Hey,
That just sounds like the music from Wario Land. Like it's like dan 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 dan.
Oh man, and then for like the longest, Tommy, up until he left, he's always kind of like been the main host, doing the whole "Hey, it's Super Pod Saga," and then there'll always be parts where you would like try to let me talk, and I'd never knew what to say, so I'd just be like, "Yay!" But we eventually.
I
figured
love
it out.
hosting I love hosting and talking to people. Having guests on was initially scary to me because they were complete wild cards, complete unknowns. Before we did the podcast many years ago, I had a website / podcast where I interviewed game developers, and that was easy because I was like, I can just ask them about their game and stuff. But when you had the guests on, I was like, you were really passionate about it. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. But inside, I was like, this could go really bad.
It is kind of crazy, and like I feel like you probably can relate to this, but we've been really lucky that like pretty much every single person that either I've guested on or we've had on our shows, usually it's like really good. Like it's almost like you luck out and it's like, oh, this person's not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved getting my favorite part was getting insight into things that Aaron and I didn't experience. Like our arcade episode. We grew up in rural Midwest where our only arcade was in a pizza ranch. And our guest like grew up in the 80s in California. So he experienced like the height of actual arcade stuff, and being able to hear those stories and stuff.
Yeah, that's
was awesome.
wild.
We did that one episode with Harrison from Grief Burrito, and he talked about all of the goofy stuff they have in the UK, like CEX, the sex store. And it's not actually like a sex store; it's a video game store called CEX, and that was just hilarious to us. We just could not shut the fuck up about it.
The most annoying Americans.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
I think us getting guests on our show, because we went many shows without any guests whatsoever. And I think it was when I started actually like talking to you guys and I started listening to like Superpod, I'm like, these guys get fucking guests on all the time. Like, maybe like, are we supposed to be doing this? Like, what is this like the standard? I don't even know. Like, what are we supposed to be doing here? So then I was like, fuck it, I'll just start reaching out to people. And that's I'm pretty sure that listening to you guys get guests on was kind of the catalyst for us starting to reach out and actually have guests on our show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll be taking those royalty checks now.
Yeah, so we completely so yeah, back in the day, Tommy did everything. He did the recording, he did editing, he did the initial thumbnail, He made all the social media accounts, the Gmail. He made everything. So I was like,
The
please,
bad
Tommy,
Tetris theme.
please. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tetris
I
theme.
did I laid the foundations, and I had like the plan for everything. Like this, I like the business things. Like we're gonna do this so that we're not like this and stuff. And then Aaron took the foundation, and he built the house.
I was like, please, Tommy, could I please do something? And you're like, no, I got it. But I
I was very possessive. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. I think I started doing thumbnails and that's like the one thing I did, and then you did like everything, and then you were like, I don't have fucking time for this shit, and then it was like, okay, well I'll edit, and then and then
Because of the this podcast, I played more scary games in my life than I ever had before. I played an hour of Alien Isolation, which was horrible, and I played that PlayStation 1 game, which made me scream.
that was
endlessly.
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 1?
No,
PlayStation 2.
it was Siren. He played Siren.
Oh my god. So, like that's you went in the deep end. You dove head first. Like you
Yeah.
became a paraplegic fucking survival horror player because like that's you dove in the shallow end, man, head first.
Yeah,
That's
I know
crazy.
it was awful.
So,
Siren is crazy, dude. That's like I threw that on recently and I was like, wow, this game makes me feel uncomfortable really
Yeah.
fast.
we did when Tommy was still doing his like DoorDash thing, or was it Grubhub? I don't remember which.
It was
the fuck-
DoorDash.
Okay, DoorDash. Sorry, Grubhub.
Grubhub sucks in Omaha.
When Tommy was still
Specifically
doing
in
that,
Omaha.
we were doing this thing where we were like, dude, we should do some YouTube gameplays and like really pop the fuck off or something. And we each wrote like lists of games that the other should play. Tommy's list for me was that
Oh my gosh.
that garbage fucking Top Gun, the fucking Corvette.
Top Gun
game.
for Game Boy. You need to specify this for Game
My
Boy.
bad. Yeah,
Oh,
Top Gun
man,
on
that-
Game Boy.
Yeah, that thing's
Corvette
bad.
on Game Boy Advance.
MLB 99. Hold on.
Ugh.
If you haven't watched it yet, you need to go watch Aaron quote unquote play MLB 99, because when he first selected teams, he didn't select a team, so it was just the computers playing each other, but he thought he was playing. He thought he was playing the whole time, but he
That's
wasn't.
like the equivalent of like when your little
Oh my
brother or
God.
cousin comes over and you're like, yeah, man, you could totally play Super Nintendo with me, and you unplug the controller.
Oh my god.
He was so confident he was one of the teams too.
He didn't even know which team.
I'm gonna fucking tweet that out after this episode. Oh my
That was
god.
the best thing I've ever seen. And then he had me play No One Can Stop Mr. Domino.
That's my favorite fucking video ever made. Tommy just going. You're like, hey everyone, Fat Tony's Casino. Or
Because it's the loading screen where it says Fat Tony's Casino every single time. So I'm like, hey, we're back at Fat Tony's Casino.
you're just freaking out at it.
Because
You're
I
like-
didn't know how to play because I didn't have a menu or a manual or anything.
You were just like, stop, just fucking freaking out, dude.
No one
Oh
can
my-
stop Mr. Domino.
No one can stop Mr. Domino. He can't
Not
be
even
stopped.
Tommy.
Yeah, one of my games for Tommy was I'm surprised he got it the fuck running, but Siren on PS2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's-
was awful.
it's great.
It's
Yeah,
terrifying.
that's crazy.
It wasn't even like the thing that made me scream the most was just turning around and seeing a person there. It wasn't a scary thing, but I just wasn't expecting them to be there, so it made me scream.
Or that part, the part where you're like hiding behind a car, and the Yami Bito or whatever the fuck they're called, he's like, "Come out," and you're like, "No."
Mr. Yami Bito.
But also, fuck Top Gun on GB. That
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
jet fighter game on Game Boy.
I don't think that video ever came out because I couldn't figure out how OBS worked, and like I just didn't want to play that game for the fourth time.
I think you talked about that game on the anti-game of the year, actually.
I do all the time, dude. It's terrible.
I think you nominated it for something.
Probably.
Speaking...
Go-
Oh, no, you go first.
I was just say I probably nominated for like games that I would rather beat my face in with a brick rather than playing them. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead, Tommy.
Something
That didn't
like
make any sense.
Speaking of Game of the Year, when I've listened to podcasts like oh yeah every day for like the past decade, and my favorite time of the year is the Game of the Year podcast. I just love spending dozens of hours. So when it came to us, I was like, we're gonna have Game of the Year podcast. So I spend my whole year keeping track of my list of games and like going over what should be placed where. Like I get really into it, and then we recorded the episode. and that was like one of the least listened to episodes of the year.
Yeah,
And I
it's
was like, oh man.
Isn't it funny how like you'll think like, oh man, I got a fucking awesome
Mhm,
idea for an episode. This one's gonna break the fucking internet. People are gonna
Yeah.
tune into this one. You're like, 4 listens? Really?
Yeah,
We put our heart and
that's-
soul in this. And then you'll do one that you're like, yeah, I felt kind of off today. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think the jokes were very good. Like, this wasn't that fun. It was, and then you look and you're like, we this is our top performing episode. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Absolutely.
dude, I did an episode with the with two of the fine ladies from Opinionated Lushes about totally made up simulators, and I was like, this episode, like, this is it. like this is the best like idea I've ever had.
It's
And
a
then-
great idea.
and then like it got less listens than the Mario and Luigi series. It didn't perform. I mean, it still did well, but it wasn't as well as the other episodes before it, which was
So
disheartening.
That was the episode that I was like most disappointed that I couldn't be on, because I was like, I've got so many fun ideas.
Instead, you
I-
got to hear me talk about Flightless Bird Simulator.
That's pretty fucking good.
Speaking of, I like even though I'm not on the podcast anymore, I still have access to all the social medias and stuff. So I'm constantly like looking at Aaron messaging people for the show, what they're gonna talk about.
Oh yeah,
I still post on the Twitter from time to time too. I've got a good one coming up for when Paper Mario comes out, so look forward to that, everyone.
this is gonna come out in June, bro. It's gonna
I
come out.
know.
Oh,
It's just gonna make it all the better.
another one that I thought was gonna do way better, but like still did all right, was the Rare Games one, where I was like, "Ooh, we're gonna fucking break the internet with this one. We're gonna talk about games that are rare
Yeah.
and games made by Rare." And then people
That's
were
so
like,
clever. We're so fucking clever.
people were like, "No."
People are like, I don't get it.
What?
I'm not
What's
sure
a
if it's
rare
still the
game?
case, but the least listened to one was the one with Grant on it for a long time, which is always hilarious, because he would be like, "Hey, if you guys want me on the show again, I can." I was like, after that episode we had, not a
I
chance.
think fucking not. I'm gonna look up the episode rankings right now and see which one is dead fucking last. Video game card games is the lead. Well, no,
Oh.
that and video game sidekicks with Nova. Those are both tied at 32. And then woof, Grant's is at
It's-
37. It's got 5 more.
It's really funny that card games is one of the least listened to ones, since that's like the thing we're most passionate about.
I know. Fucking every now and again, Dave from Tales of the Backlog, he'll ping me in something on his server and he'll be like, "Hey, card game sicko right here," and I'll be like, "That's me, card games." And then people didn't even.
I'm playing a World War II card game right now that I'm in love with. That's how off the deep end I am.
Oh yeah!
I also-
World War II. Sorry, go ahead, Jared.
I also found that like there's certain things too, like certain like survival, anything to do with horror for some reason does good. I don't know what it is.
That's true.
Every time we've done anything to do with horror or covered anything horror based, it just gets ate up like immediately. And I don't know, like we've done like episodes on like Mario stuff, and it's like, man, Mario, fucking
Who?
anybody's gonna listen to
Who?
Mario. Nope.
Mario,
No
what?
one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. But the episode that we did about Final Fantasy 14 Online, Jesus Christ. Like, I didn't realize that everybody wanted to hear us just talk about role playing at a fake nightclub in the world of Final Fantasy.
Medieval Knights.
Oh, man.
Aaron, I have a question coming from a listener to the podcast.
Yes.
I've always been curious about this because I'm not as into the Discord as you are. I try and pop in every once in a while. It's kind of overwhelming, but like and Gerry, you could probably answer this too. Are there just like a bunch of Discords for different podcasts, or
Yes.
is there? Oh, okay. I didn't know if like people were just on the Superpod Saga one, or they're bouncing around everywhere. Because I'm not a part of all these Discords.
We tried to do a Discord for Super Ghost, and between editing the show and like hosting the show and doing all the social medias and stuff, I was like, I don't have fucking time for this Discord. There's no
tough,
way I
dude.
have time to maintain this. Like, this is a full-time fucking job just going in and like even just like I think the hardest part about the Discord is creating the community itself.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
having something enough in that Discord to make somebody go, "Oh, I want to join this and I want to stay in here." Because like I'm part of a lot of different Discords and most of them are muted besides like the Superpod one, the Mr. FPGA one,
Mhm.
the indie podcasters, like the Co-op Podcast Network. Like most of them are muted just because like there's so many notifications, and I know that you can like turn on other stuff, and I just kind of pop in and out of the other ones intermittently just to kind of like see what's going on. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy how much work goes into getting enough people to even consider a Discord, and not just like a fucking basically a group chat server with memes. Like and just building the community and maintaining it. It's
Yeah.
wild. So yeah, you can check out the Super Ghost Discord over on Discord, and it's
Over on
it's a
Discord?
fucking ghost town.
See, you even just say that, and I'm like, I don't even know how to find a Discord to join.
What's a
That's how out of
Discord?
touch I am with him. She was, yeah, and that's the scary part too about having Discord, because I would be, again, all the props to Aaron for all the work he puts in, because I would be terrified that I like take 2 days off and just be like, I just want a little bit of a break, and then everyone leaves.
There have been a couple times where I've thought about just like maybe taking a week off from editing and recording and stuff like that, but I've usually got maybe like a couple of episodes in the tank, and if like if I need to, I'll just take a break from recording. But
We usually what our thing has been, which has been kind of nice actually, we go right up until like basically like Christmas break, and then we take like our holiday hiatus until like February when we come back, and like we'll have some stuff pre-recorded to release in February.
Hmm.
But it usually ends with like game of the year stuff, and then the new year starts with, because we do our fantasy critic, so we do our fantasy critic thing where like we tally up who won that year, and then we punish the person who lost. And
you got
it's
to eat
pretty
a
good.
live scorpion.
No, it's not fucking Fear Factor with
Fear Factory.
Joe Rogan. I almost said Fear Factory. But yeah, I kind of a couple years ago I was like, why don't we just like take a little like a little holiday treat, a little Christmas break?
Little breaky poo.
And it's
earned
been
it.
it's kind of nice because then we have everything kind of done prior, and we could just kind of kick back. More so me, because I do all the editing and stuff. Try it sometime.
Oh yeah!
This is gonna get very old by the end. No, I'm considering doing that. Like right now I'm cram jamming in a bunch of recordings to build a
Cram jam.
backlog. And then then eventually Jerry and I are gonna cram jam some
Are we?
retro rehab.
I don't think my wife would be too impressed about that.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the maintaining all this stuff is kind of, it gets kind of exhausting. Like I'm not on Twitter as much as I used to be. Like I used to be on Twitter all the fucking time, but now it's just like my brain hurts. Sometimes like I'll be barely on Discord too. Like I'll slap in, hey, new episode, and then I'll be fucking done with it for
You ever
a
like
couple days.
post something to Threads and then immediately go, why did I post this here?
All the time. Threads fucking sucks, man. It's such a like. I forget who it was that came on the show one time. We were talking about Threads, and he was like, "That's the most like screaming into the void app ever."
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like that episode of
Yeah.
SpongeBob where Squidward went so far forward in time, there was nothing, and he was just like, "Ah!" Like that's Threads, bro.
That's Threads, yeah. It's just a void.
It's so annoying because all these ones are starting up where it's like, this is going to be the one. This is the one that everyone's going to go to, whether it was Blue Sky or Threads. Those are the only two I can really think of. But I was like, oh man, we got to get in here at the ground floor so that we're out there right away. And then it's just nothing.
We did
A whole bunch
that.
of nothing.
We did that with Mastodon. Which,
Mastodon. Oh my gosh, Mastodon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It was hard. Okay, like very hard. Okay, Hive was all right.
Hive.
Substack. I didn't use it, so I don't know.
I still have a Substack. That's definitely not what we were looking for, though.
Yeah.
That's not for us.
Did you guys ever get your stuff on Truth Social?
What the fuck is that?
No, we did not. We did not, Aaron.
Oh, we had a Tumblr.
We had a Tumblr for a
He
little
doesn't
bit.
know what it is.
What is
That's
it?
good. That's good.
What is it called?
Truth Social.
I'm gonna look it up because that's my
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, man, just start posting Superpod
Oh,
links on
fuck.
there.
Oh
I'm
fuck!
sure everybody will enjoy that on there.
Truth Social. It's just a free speech social media app. Okay, I don't. What's the joke?
It's is it owned by Trump
think
or is that a different one?
No, I think it is.
Oh, it says T Media. Okay, okay, all right.
Big T
Let's
Media.
reel it in, boys.
I don't want to be on any social media that my parents are on.
I have a hard time just being on Facebook sometimes. You ever like accidentally get on Facebook and be like, "What am I doing here? Why am I doing this?" And then then you realize you're like, "These memes are pretty good," but I
Dude,
don't
yeah.
want to admit that I got it from Facebook because like I feel like that just dates me or something.
I
Yeah,
don't
and then
know.
I'm like, and then like I'll send a meme to somebody. I'm like, I totally got this from Reddit, by the way. This came from Reddit.
I'm totally fine
I
with
was
that.
I was scrolling through Facebook while waiting for Aaron to send me the link for the first time in forever. I haven't been on Facebook in so long, and I was like, "Oh, look, someone had a baby. Okay, there's another baby. Here's an ad.
There's another
Oh,
baby.
they went to the museum."
I don't know, man. Sometimes, like when I'm really, really bored, I'll hop on Facebook because I'm in a lot of shitpost groups at Facebook.
You,
Yeah,
you, Aaron?
Yeah.
What?
my
Huh.
my favorite page in all of Facebook is just called Tito. That's Tito for Rocket Power, but it's just like overarching. So each post is just like a JPEG of Tito in some like stupid situation. Like there's this overarching story to it. Like the last
I
one,
miss that. I miss when the internet was like that.
it still is. The last one. Hold on, the last one from April 8th says, "Aloha, I stared at the sun too long. Be safe out there, brothers." And his head shrank. His head...
My-
Then there's-
my-
the-
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want
I need
more.
to shut the fuck up about Tito.
Tito. I was gonna say that like with Facebook, I just find it so ridiculous how like it's just mostly people from like my high school. And
Yeah.
it'll just be like a
Oh,
picture of them like laying on the couch with their kids and just be like just laying down. It's like,
Yeah.
thanks, Bradley. I
Yeah.
don't know what I would have done today if I
Bradley,
didn't know that you were just
Bradley.
My favorite
Shout
thing
out.
is my wife follows the podcast stuff even though she doesn't ever listen to it, and every once in a while she'll show me something that you post and she'll be like, "What is this?" Like, it's
Can
just
you
Aaron.
explain?
I have to go so many layers deep to explain it. It's not
Oh my
worth it.
god, it'd be like me with those fucking Baja Blast mango fucking Doritos that are terrible. By the way, they're so bad.
Well, dude, even just like the fucking art that you make, big air quotes. No, I'm kidding. It's always so good. But like when you'll be like, dude, check out the thumbnail for this, and it's just like, why is this burger running out of an exploding building with like handguns and a sombrero on? Like,
You have
why?
to-
Hold on.
You have to listen to it for it to make sense.
There's a process. This doesn't happen as much as it used to, but Aaron will message me and be like, "I can't think of anything for this thumbnail. Do you have any ideas?" And so I'll shoot him like 2 or 3 ideas, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's good. And then I look at the thumbnail for the episode, and it's nothing like what I described.
Oh yeah!
It never has been, not even once.
I've got a funny story about like the one for the upcoming horror games episode that comes out tomorrow, actually, as of recording. not like
Check that one out tomorrow, everyone.
so for this horror games episode thumbnail, I was like, I'm fucking stumped, bro. I don't know what the fuck to do. So I messaged like 3 people, and I got some pretty questionable recommendations. But then I messaged shout out to Jamison from Bar Silence. I shoot ideas off of him all the time, and he was like, "Do this," and I was like, "Oh, bitch!" And then I messaged it to Gerry, and yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah,
Yep.
pretty bitchin'.
I really enjoyed the last episode that we did solo on Retro Rehab. It was just a man in the parking lot of a Denny's screaming at kids, but the man that was screaming had just our logo on his face, and then the other kids just had like
yeah,
Nintendo, Capcom, and Konami logos just for their faces, because the episode was just us screaming at those companies, being like, "Give us the games we want."
I had forgotten we were talking about thumbnails, and I thought you were saying that your last episode you were talking with a guy screaming in a Denny's parking lot, and I was like, "Whoa, I gotta check this out."
Oh man, uh, when Tommy when Tommy first left the show, well, first off, so Tommy was supposed to be in episode 76, Almost Great Games with the Krusty Boys, but his internet flopped out real hard.
Oh, that I felt so bad about that because my internet actually. There have been times in the past where I have flaked on doing episodes for one reason or another, and I obviously feel bad about it. But this one, like, the internet actually dropped. I was like, I don't know what to do about this.
I mean, there's
Good old
nothing you can
T-flops.
do.
Yeah.
T-flops. That one turned out pretty good. But the first episode I actually did like on my own. I planned like I guess without Tommy was the licensed games episode with Gerry, the man right there, and Jay from Super Bracket Bros. And man, I was like, fuck, I don't know if this show is gonna be able to continue with like just me and guests. But we fucking home run to that fucking episode. Shit, that was like we grand slammed that fucking the grand slam joke because Denny's grand slam. Yep. Yeah.
Dude,
Funny
you know what's
joke.
crazy? Couldn't even tell you what I talked about in that episode. I will
Oh, yeah.
record this one, and like my wife will be like, "What were you guys talking about today?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know. I have no idea." Like, I immediately purge it from my brain, and it's funny because like where I edit, I'll listen back and I'll be like, "Oh man, we're
Mhm.
really on our A game here," and it was like from like fucking 24 hours ago, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that I said that." Like I don't remember half the shit I say.
I do that a lot too. Like in the last episode, again, horror games episode coming out tomorrow. Not tomorrow from when this episode airs, but tomorrow. As of when we're recording. Haha. You, me, and Red Fox, we all joke about spam a lot, and
Oh yeah.
oh, what else was there? I forget. Man, we were at
there's lots of
Walmart the other
spam
day.
jokes.
I was gonna take a fucking photo of the spam aisle, but this one old lady wouldn't get the fuck out of the
There's
way.
an aisle. There's an
Kind-
aisle of spam.
There's like a quarter of an aisle just for spam, bro. Like that.
The Isle of Spam. I'm just picturing like an island with like spam growing on trees and shit.
Island
paradise.
boy.
Oh no.
I'm cutting that. How about we take an ad break? Should we hear a word from our sponsors?
Okay.
We'll be right back.
This episode of SuperPod Saga was brought to you today by the real MVPs, the real sponsors of the show, the patrons, the official superstars. All of you are just awesome, fabulous, handsome, adorable, cute. I don't know what other words to throw in here, but you're all awesome. Every single one of you. It really means so much to me. It means the world, the galaxy, the cosmos. It's something bigger than the cosmos. I don't think there is anything bigger, but if there was, I would love you all that much. I'm stretching my arms out like this right now. So yeah, let's thank the patrons. A Novel Console, Jared Schrader, Jamison Empire, Adam Phineas, Trey, Adam Forrester, Jeff Miners, Jenny E, Kevin Demo, Thrak, and Mr. Kwong. All of you are your official superstars. You guys are the best. If I could meet every single one of you in person and give you a gigantic hug, a high five, and buy you a sandwich or something, I absolutely would, because god damn it, I love every single last one of you. Thank you, patrons, for sponsoring this episode and every single episode to come of SuperPod Saga. Thank you a lot. I mean it. Thank you so much. If you're a fan of coffee and you're looking for something different, I think we've got just the thing for you. That's Bones Coffee. Bones Coffee is not your usual coffee company. Of course, it's all sugar-free, gluten-free, all that stuff, because it's just coffee, nothing added to it. But they roast each batch of coffee beans to your order, and they've got just a bazillion different flavors to choose from. They've got your usual French vanilla, salted caramel, they've got Irish cream, of course they've got decaf, single origin coffees like Kenya, Guatemala, stuff like that, even what they call high voltage, which is extra strength, extra caffeine. But they have all sorts of other awesome kind of out of the box flavors. They've got ones like cotton candy, maple bacon, and even mint chocolate chip ice cream. And they're always coming up with new crossover flavors, like they've done a bunch for Nightmare Before Christmas, Indiana Jones, even Spider-Man, of all things. And they're also coming up with new seasonal flavors all the time. If this sounds right up your alley, feel free to use the link in our episode description and use coupon code SUPERPODSAGA at checkout to get 20% off your order. That's SUPERPODSAGA at checkout to get 20% off your order. And if you're not just in the market for coffee, you can also get some sweet mugs. They've got lots of cool shirts. They've got all sorts of different brewing equipment like French presses, stuff like that. Just head on over to bonescoffee.com, or again, use the link in our episode description and get 20% off. Get yourself a new interesting flavor and spice up your morning routine with Bones Coffee. I really hope you enjoy. I'm a really big fan of it, and I hope you find one that really hooks you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. Hey Tommy, where?
I don't hang on, pause for a second. Okay. I don't like how fast you said it was, like basically like the BioShock thing where it's like, would you kindly? And you were just like, hey Gerry, say something slow and sexy. And it was like immediate.
He's been wanting to ask it.
And my mind was just like, do it.
It's our like symbiotic, like parasitic relationship.
I'm sorry.
We are Venom, or whatever the fuck.
You could put that in the B-roll.
Oh man, Tommy, where do you get your peg legs? How do you feel about peg legs?
I feel very good about peg legs. They're super. I say so. We just got a new table and chair set, so I actually was able to. Not now, Randy. You can have your time. I've actually been taking the legs off of the tables and putting them on my leg to be a peg leg.
Sorry, go ahead.
It'd be nicer if there was somewhere else that would supply peg legs, so I have to stop buying tables and chairs to replace the old ones.
Tommy, do you know what me and my wife have been doing?
Oh boy, that's a big question.
Here we go. Buckle up. So what we do is, in the bedroom, she's been begging me. She's been begging me, let me peg you. And I was like, sure, only if I can use those sturdy cocks as my legs afterwards.
And boy, do we have a sponsor for this episode. It's oh shit. It's Rancher Dave's custom peg legs. Yee-hoo! Rancher Dave has all the best custom peg legs you could ever possibly dream of, because they're custom, because you can give him your ideas, I guess. That's the joke. If you want a peg leg that's in the shape of like Squidward's tentacle leg, you sure fucking can. If you want a peg leg in the shape of a lava lamp, go right on ahead, brother. If you want a peg leg in the shape of the Island Boys, go for it.
Can I have a peg leg in the shape of Albert Pujols' baseball bat?
The greatest baseball player. Oh man, what were those other ones that you sent me the other day? Oh fuck, they were
Coco Crisp, Milton Bradley.
Baseball is so cool.
It is.
I would love a couple of peg legs that look like the Eiffel Tower, and it would just be, it's like hooves.
Yeah, you get a peg leg that's in the shape of like a goat's leg. It's all like bent the wrong way too, like a goat. It's got a little hoof on it.
You wouldn't be able to walk. You'd just be crawling with peg legs. It would defeat the purpose and make you look stupid.
Oh, a peg leg that's a microphone, so that when you're interviewing people, you can just hold your leg up to their mouth.
You take it off real fast. You're like, "Hey, here I am, live and on location with whoever." Yeah, dude. I want to.
Just don't forget to mute. Don't forget to mute the mics though when you're walking.
All you hear is like
feedback.
I want a custom peg leg in the shape of like a bunch of like little kids wearing a trench coat. So it's like a bunch of kids in a trench coat. They're supposed to look like a person, but it's a leg. I don't know, man. I'll just take a fucking like a sword, like a blade for a peg leg. That'd be cool.
Couple of super scopes.
Ooh.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
A stack of Nintendo Game Cubes.
This is the perfect podcast. This podcast has no flaws.
And if you want to go swimming with those peg legs, there's a limited time offer where you'll just get 2 massive sticks of pepperoni that will make you so... Is it aerodynamic if you're in the water?
No, it is not.
Buoyant?
Hydrodynamic.
There we go.
There
That
we
sounds
go.
right.
Yep.
Those pepperonis will be so hydrodynamic, you'll be cutting through the water with those thick sausage sticks.
What are you? Do you put them? Do you put them on your legs, or are you just
You
like
put 'em
eat
wherever you
them
want.
and they?
Put them up your nose.
You can put them wherever you want.
The government can't stop you from putting sausages where you want.
Hold on. I'm frantically rushing to the soundboard. I couldn't click the play button because my
Oh yeah!
oh my god. Act now, and not only will you get your custom peg leg and whatever the fuck shit you want, you'll get to your fucking pepperoni or whatever. You'll get you can even get one in the shape or you can even get like a little holster that attaches to your peg leg. And you can have that in the shape of like
Ranch.
cargo pants pockets. Yeah, like a
Put
ranch
some
holster.
ranch in there.
Time
Yeah.
to ranch it up.
Ranch it up.
Fucking yeah, you get a little holster for your Pepsis, Mountain Dew skis. Thanks for sponsoring this episode, fucking Ranchero Dave or whatever.
Thanks, Dave.
Gerry, thank the man.
Fucking thanks, Dave.
Okay, now Tommy needs to say we're back, but like in the most 80s like news like way possible.
And we're back.
Yes, we are. Before we get to like the real, I don't know, meat of the episode. I guess there's been a lot of meat in this episode. Before we get to, we're basically just going to talk about games that we think are perfect. Before we get to that, though, I mean, there's a pretty big announcement. Pretty big, not as big as like the pepperoni peg leg thing, but yeah, big announcement. Yeah, I guess
You're such a good host, Aaron.
I know.
I just want you to know that.
I should.
Aaron, I heard there's a big announcement.
Hey, let me tell you what. There is a big announcement. And that announcement is, Gerry's going to be the new co-host of SuperPod Saga
Woo!
from here on
I
out,
am?
man.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Aaron's now like going through the Rolodex of his brain, just being like, "Did we talk about this? Did we talk about this? Did we talk about this?"
I swear to God, the metadata in Discord.
I
said
only
that it was
messaged Tommy about it. I never messaged Gerry.
Canceled.
No, super excited about this actually. And thank you, Tommy, for giving me your blessings.
Of course.
Hashimoto.
His blessings, like he's like.
That's the word I used. I said I give my blessing. That's how it works. It's like
Yeah.
you guys are getting married.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
he
I'm-
threw rose petals on me.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
Aaron is my friend, and he deserves the best. And if he wants a co-host to help him on this journey, then I am all for it.
Oh shit. And yeah, I mean, Tommy, if you ever have the time or the patience to put up with my fucking shit to come back onto the show, doors wide open, Mr. Man.
My only requirement is that you never ever lend Gerry your copy of Pikmin for GameCube.
Fuck. mean-
Mail it to me right
I-
now.
I'll only do that if you let me borrow your Steam Deck,
Oh, I sold that bitch long ago.
like I did with Pikmin. Yeah, doors wide open, Tommy. You can come back on anytime you want.
I appreciate it.
It's been a
I'll
wild.
take advantage of that.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride attempting to do this show on my own. It's been great. I just feel like it'd be cool to have a consistent co-host to bounce
Mhm.
jokes off of. And Gerry and I, as you might have already guessed, this episode we're non-fucking stop like between fucking Macho Man and Tommy. Like it's been this episode has been. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's been a great episode. Yeah, that's it. That's the episode or not episode announcement.
That's it. That's all there is.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about games that we think are perfect. A game, everybody, one
One
game.
single game.
Yep, because we talked about the show a lot, and Gerry and I are getting married or something. That's the last one. That's the last one.
It only
I
makes
promise.
sense. It only makes
We need
sense.
Macho Man to give the speech at the end, and that's all he says, and then walks off the stage.
Could you imagine if he was the one marrying you? Like if he was the one doing your fucking
my
marriage? Like,
God.
Do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I don't know. This hurts. That hurt my fucking throat. Who wants to start, man?
Do I start since I'm technically the guest?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Whenever the question of the perfect video game comes up, my first answer is always Tetris, but that's not really a fun game to talk about on a podcast. So I'm not gonna
Try it.
Instead, I'm going to pick. Should I?
It's okay.
I'm gonna pick. I just had a second thought, and now I'm debating on which one.
Say them
No,
both.
we'll go with Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
I knew it.
Um,
Ooh.
That's the perfect game for me. I love Red Dead Redemption 2 as well, but I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Like I do, I just sit at night in the shower thinking about Red Dead Redemption.
Nice.
And I like Red Dead the first one more because it's more of a time and place thing where you are just in this one singular area and going through the adventures in John Marston. Where Red Dead Redemption 2 is much bigger. It has way more areas and it never feels like you're a part of that area, which is kind of part of what Red Dead Redemption 2 does. It's about the journey of the gang going places, but I liked being in the world of Red Dead Redemption 1 more. And another thing that makes it so great, and this is something that kind of is lost when you go back and play to it, but at the time it had all these events and instances of things just happening in the world that didn't affect things. Like you would come across a person who was they were by like it was a woman who's was with a husband who had just died or something, and you just walk up to her and she kills herself, and it's like nothing else. There's no dialogue, there's no nothing. It's just a thing that happens in this world. It really makes you feel like you're in this world. And I dare you to find a Western game that has anything close to what Red Dead Redemption offers. It's a shame that we don't have more. It's the perfect Western game.
I think we've talked about that a lot too. I forget which episode it was. We talked about like they should make a what was it? It was like a open world Wild West RPG.
You know what's crazy? I was gonna say I never played Red Dead Redemption or 2 or Revolver.
Oof.
None of them.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Is it
That's like
awesome? Should I drop what I'm
Oh,
doing? and play them?
I love when people play like the most random entries in a series. Like my most played Kirby games are the golf one, the
Dream Course.
Dream Course,
That
Dream
game
Course, and
fucking fucks, dude. That's why.
Oh,
That
it's
game is
awesome. I love it, yeah.
Amazing.
then Kirby Tilt and Tumble. I've never played any other Kirby games, but those are the only
What?
ones I played.
You need to play Forgotten Land. It's perfect. I made a side
Oh
quest
my
about
God.
it. Go listen to that side quest.
Those are the
Thomas.
only Kirby games that you've ever played.
Yeah, that's it.
Just play Dreamland on Game Boy today. You can beat it in an hour. Just play it, man. Come on.
I own a Game Boy.
Oh,
So I just-
yeah.
So just do it.
Aaron,
Man.
do you want to lend me a video game?
I'll lend you Dreamland. I played Dreamland from start to finish through like a whole episode of Guy's Grocery Games. If I can do it, so can you.
That's me.
Yeah.
If you'll allow me the time, I could quickly go get my second game that I was
Hell
thinking
yeah.
of. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Do it.
MVP Baseball 2005.
Oh boy.
If this is, I want to go out with
With a bang.
let me tell you the things that MVP Baseball 2005 does that MLB The Show doesn't do because they're cowards. When you argue a call in MVP Baseball 2005, there's a meter for how angry you can be when you actually get to the umpire and argue the call.
Oh,
I
my
love
like
that.
button mashing,
God.
like
Yeah, that's what it
angry,
is.
more
Yeah.
You
angry,
charge
more
the
angry.
mound.
When there's a hit to the outfield and you throw it to a base in MVP Baseball 2005, you can hit the trigger button and then the cutoff guy catches the ball, so you can throw it somewhere else. That's something in real baseball, but isn't in MLB The Show. For a game in 2005.
I love when
Why,
Tommy gets
Aaron?
mad about baseball. I don't know, man. I mean, I remember you talking a lot about MLB The Show and all the cool RPG elements it has, but then you
Oh
have to
yeah,
like
it was.
you have to grind for
RPG
loot.
elements.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me explain where
Okay.
MLB The Show has gotten to at this point. So
Yes.
back in the day, the single player mode where you'd start in the minors and work your way up, if you got a hit, your hitting would go up. If you threw the ball good, your throwing would go up. It was just like the Skyrim thing, I guess. Now, in today's day and age, they give you quests that you have to complete, like get 20 hits against left-handed batters, and then
Fuck,
your
Jesus
experience goes up.
Christ.
And then you get loot boxes. There's 20 different things
What?
you can get. It's like armor for your character. You can get batting gloves, you can get shoes, you can get socks, you can get pants. So you unlock these loot boxes that give you different quality. It's like from common to rare to etc. for your baseball gloves and stuff. And of course, you can just pay money for the good stuff. You can just buy the good stuff.
Oh,
That's stupid. Or like
gross.
go to their online platform and play against other people and see all their cool stuff. Play the card game and buy some card packs. It's awful.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, none of that sounds
MVP
good.
Baseball 2005 had mini games where on the field there are like ramps and there are targets to hit. So you could hit the ball and they
What?
go off ramps, and you could hit buses that were in the outfield to get you points.
What?
Is this,
Yeah,
holy
So
shit.
wait, was it more arcadey?
it was both. It was both at the same
Because
time.
so here's the thing. I fucking hate sports games
Mm-hmm.
unless they are arcadey feeling.
I would not say playing the game is arcadey, but it did have fun stuff.
Because I only just
Um,
recently realized how goddamn good Beach Spikers was. Like, I'm serious. Like, my buddy was like, dude, you got to see this fucking volleyball game. And I was like, volleyball? Why are you playing volleyball? And he was like, dude, you it's on GameCube. You like, next time you come over, I'm showing you this game. There's fucking timed hits. It gets intense. And dude, I played that thing and I couldn't put it down. I could not stop playing Beach Spikers.
Yeah, good sports games are the best.
Oh yeah!
But yeah, it had a franchise mode that you could play for 100 years, and you could set the prices of hot dogs. You could set the ticket prices.
MLB hot dog sim.
Oh my
Yeah.
fucking God. 2 for 1 hot
It had
dogs.
everything. It had everything. And then 2K Sports had to come in and buy the MLB license, so EA Sports couldn't make anymore, and then the series died. It died,
Crying
guys.
shame.
It was
Crying
the perfect
shame.
baseball game.
Hey Jerry, what's a game that you think is perfect that you can set the price of hot dogs?
Can't set the price of hot dogs, but it's funny that you mentioned Kirby because I always flip flop around a lot. There's not a lot of like recent games that I can think of that are perfect. Like, it's weird. Like, as time goes on, I'm just like, there's a lot of old games that are perfect in my eyes, and I don't know if that's just like some kind of, I'm looking at things through rose tinted glasses. But Kirby Superstar, in my opinion, is a perfect game because
Hell yeah.
it's, in my opinion, it is the best Kirby game out of all the Kirby games. It has an amazing soundtrack. It's like, at the time, I remember going into a Blockbuster and seeing that game case, and it was like fucking 9 Kirby games in one, and I was like, this is impossible. There's no way they could fit 9 Kirby games on one thing. And it's cool how they do it. It's like you could literally play Kirby's Dream Land on that game. Like, it's there. You play Kirby's Dream Land. But then you unlock, as you beat the different games, you unlock more. So there's like Kirby's Dream Land, and then there was like the Great Cave Offensive, which was like that was crazy. That was a fairly long thing, and it had all these secrets that you could find, these treasures, and you could bring up a menu that would show you like if you've missed any or anything. And like, I think if you collected all of the treasure, something else happened. But yeah, like, you're going through this like crazy cave. There's lots of cool bosses, and then you beat that one, and then there's like this overarching storyline going on with like Meta Knight in like 2 different things, and then you go to space. It's fucking crazy. You go to space, and then
That's
you can
cool.
unlock like these cool mini games Oh, and another thing that made this amazing for me growing up was it was fully co-op start to finish. All you had to do was suck up an enemy and then get your ability by pressing down and then hit A, and it would create either a CPU friend to help you, or player 2 just starts controlling that character, and from start to finish that game is co-op. And then it also adds like a bunch of cool little like multiplayer games where like there was one, it was like a timing thing where like you're like samurais and you had to wait for like this thing to go and then whoever hit the button fast enough would win. And then there was like a race like where it was like a gourmet race or something.
Yeah.
Like it was jam packed full of stuff to play. And I rented it once and I begged my parents to buy it for me. Like I had to own that game. And sure enough, I did. I did own that game when I was growing up. And to this day, I think that game is perfect.
Nice.
And to kind of follow Tommy's formula, I also have another game because I was flip-flopping between
Yeah.
two. The other one that I was going to say is Super Mario RPG. There's-
Ooh.
That game is flawless.
Like
There's
the original
nothing wrong
or the
with that.
remake?
I mean, you could say both, really, because
Ooh.
the remake does such a good job of literally being the original game, but just adding a little bit newer things to like the battle system. Like it's literally like the same trajectory that you follow from the original. There's no difference in the story of the game or like the areas or anything like that. It's literally the same game, but they've added little tiny things. But that original game, for one thing, it is the perfect RPG for even people that have never played an RPG, because it is not a very long game, which is good because sometimes people might be like, RPGs, aren't they like 50-hour games? Yeah. Like, I mean, fucking Persona 5, I think I finished that at like 112 hours and I didn't do
Gross.
any side shit. Like nothing. It was just like straight through. This is the game. Like it was like 100 and something hours. So yeah, like I can't commit to an RPG because they're long, but not Super Mario RPG. That game is, I think, like maybe 15 to 20 hours.
Oh,
20
damn.
hours if you're like really like doing some extra shit. But it's like a 15-hour game, and it's cool how they translated Mario for the first time to RPGs. And it was only recently that this occurred to me, because when you look at Mario RPG, when you're on the world map, like you're pretty much going from like level to level in that game. There's no like
That's true.
open world to explore, but that to me, like it I was this year when it clicked in my brain, I was like, but that's how Mario is. You're going from point A to point B, different levels. And that's what this game is. Eventually you do a little bit of backtracking, but again, you're on a world map where you're going tuk, 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 like to different spots and picking the level. And there's not really any like dungeons per se. Like there's areas, but like it just feels like a Mario game that got turned into an RPG. It is literally that. And the characters are fantastic. Like even the ones that they introduced that Square
Like
made
Mallow.
themselves, like Mallow, Geno, Booster, all those guys, they all feel like they should be in the Mario universe. Like they belong within the Mario universe. And like they even made like new Yoshi characters, like
Like
what's his
Boshi.
name? Boshi. Yeah, Boshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And that was the first game that I played that had timed hits. I don't know any other game that has timed hits like that for its time. I mean, there's tons now, but yeah, like it's funny because for a long time I was always looking for games that had timed hits, and they were few and far between. There's not a lot. Even like some people would recommend like Final Fantasy VIII, and I'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I think it's like I think Squall maybe is the only character that has timed hits with the gunblade. But like I wanted something where it's like, no, I want timed hits across the board, But the game's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that game. It's short, sweet, and a really fun RPG.
I wish I had played that game back in the day, because I grew up on the Mario and Luigi games, and going back to Mario RPG, there was so much of it where I was like, oh, this is where that came from. This is where the timed hits.
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I was like, this is so neat.
Yeah.
But it was tough to look at with my eyes.
What?
on the Super Nintendo Mini onto like the 4K TV, it's a little rough. If it was on a CRT TV, like it was meant to be, you know what I mean, where it smooths out those edges.
That's why.
Suppose
That's the
so.
whole thing about the Mister, man. It does that shit good. Scan lines, baby. You gotta have those scan lines.
You need scan lines.
Speaking of perfect games, my first one.
Good transition.
Yeah, thank you. Just like this podcast, which is perfect in every single way. There are no flaws to Superpod Saga. I dare you to name a flaw. You can't because it's perfect.
Not enough Tommy.
I mean, fuck, you got me there. Show's over. Final Fantasy IX is perfect. It's my favorite game of all time. Nothing will ever top it. There's just so much to the game that I love about it. I'm not even just not just from a nostalgia standpoint. 'Cause it's the first game I ever bought with my own money. It's I think it's like one of the first few games I played on the PS1 back in the day. But Final Fantasy IX just has the best cast of characters ever. Like, of course, the characters all look unique. They play a different way. Essentially, there's I guess 2 characters for each like archetype for different characters. Like there's thief, warrior, mage, and healer. So you've got 2 mages, 2 healers, 2 warriors, 2 thieves, whatever. But each character is so thoughtfully like they have their own little like story arcs where they can overcome their problems and they develop very very well. Like Vivi, for example, best character development of any fucking character in like any video game ever. Like I don't
I
want to
cried so many times at that game because of that poor little guy.
I know man. Not even just the end where he like, spoilers, like it's not even just the end where he seems dead, but uh like toward like the beginning where you learn about black mages and how they are and all that shit. Yeah, even I mean Quina, I guess maybe isn't that interesting, but it still kind of is.
I used to always call her quinoa.
Quinoa.
Oh, that's good. I said Quina.
Yeah, the combat is, I mean, a lot of Final Fantasy games feel slow. Like they feel really fucking slow, not just in like the encounter rates, but also like the combat feeling slow. But the combat in Final Fantasy IX, it feels right. Like it feels quick. You know,
It's got a good flow.
it does. You get a
But
character's
it's also like
turn.
classic feeling, you know? Like I think that's
Yeah.
what makes it so special is that they went back to their roots.
Yeah, like that's another thing. Yeah, yeah. So like other Final Fantasy, like say, yeah, Final Fantasy 8, 7, even like Final Fantasy 3 and shit like that. You can make any character whatever you want. Make them overpowered. Give them like 14 different jobs. You can have Cloud be healer, mage, and whatever the fuck you want. Just give them whatever materia you want. Um, Final Fantasy 9, I love that they have those baked in jobs. Like they are what they are. Like Zidane is thief. Uh Aiko and Dagger, they're both white mages, uh and there are some people that hate that for whatever reason, but
Oh.
I think it's just fine. I love it. It makes them who they are. It makes them feel wholly unique, as opposed to say Final Fantasy 3, like the actual Final Fantasy 3, where every character just feels fucking stale and bland. They're just fucking faceless hollow drones. I also think the soundtrack to Final Fantasy 9 is perfect. I love all the environments, all the towns, everything. There's so many mini games. There's a fucking dank ass card game to Tetra Master. Everybody loves the one in fucking 8. Fuck you because Tetra Master is good. um all the enemy designs are really cool. I think Kuja is a really fucking good
Oh,
Final Fantasy villain.
Those hips.
Yeah, yeah. That bodacious motherfucker. I think he's just as good as like Kefka or Sephiroth or her the lady from 8.
Ultimecia.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't understand when people are like Kuja was a really like forgettable villain. It's like, did you play the same fucking game that I did? Because it's
Yeah.
cool shit.
Like,
And I've said for years that Final Fantasy IX is also my favorite Final Fantasy. and it still is. And
It's exactly why you're the new
well-
co-host, Gerry.
Well, guess what? Guess what? The only
What?
Final
Tell me-
Fantasy
tell me.
game I've ever played for an extended time is Final Fantasy IX.
Exactly,
Oh,
because it's the
I was
best
hoping
one.
that you were gonna just say some random one like Final Fantasy 2.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. I played a ton of 9 and I really liked it, and it was because Aaron suggested it.
Yep. Exactly.
It's funny too because like I remember playing 9 for the first time, and I remember the graphics being so like good, and like
Yeah.
just
Oh.
like the nice speech bubbles and stuff, and like the character sprites were like really well done. Like I found like in 7, I mean everything just looks like fucking Lego blocks, which was
Mhm.
I mean I liked it back in the day. Then 8 came out and everybody were like fucking stick bugs with like emo hair. Like it just looked ridiculous. But again, I liked Final Fantasy 8 not as much as 7, and certainly not as much as 9. 9 hit that perfect balance of like kind of going back to like that chunky style of like old school Final Fantasy characters from like the 16-bit era, but like putting them in 32-bit on the PlayStation. And I don't know, it looks so good. Like it
Yeah.
holds up today too. Like
Yes.
if I throw it on the Mister and I got those nice scan lines and shit, I just like I don't try to add any smoothing or anything like that. I want to see all the crispness because they did such a fantastic job on like the character design, and even like Aaron, like you were saying, like
Oh yeah!
yeah, the fucking the environments and stuff too. Like
Yeah.
when you get to the Black Mage Village, like that whole design was like super interesting. How it was like kind of up high, and just even the, like exploring the world map. Yeah, that game is perfect, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Gerry. I was going to say I didn't play it for the first time until 3 or 4 years ago, and even
wow.
then I was like, how did they do this on a PlayStation? This looks so good for a PlayStation game. This is nuts.
Another cool thing the game does that I really love is that each town feels totally unique, not just in like the
Yes.
background music or just like the buildings and shit like that, but there's this different story for each town. Like one of my favorites, Condapeity. There's all these I forget if they're goblins or whatever. These little green dudes. I think they're dwarves. They just have these hilarious little speech patterns where I think they're supposed to be like Scottish sounding, and then they have all their little rituals they talk about all the time. Yeah, the Black Mage Village that has like a very somber feel to it. Yeah, it's Final Fantasy IX is just perfect, man. Like I come back to it all the time on just like the base ass PS1 version because I don't see nothing wrong with it. And then
I do have a confession though.
yes,
I've never beat it.
Me either.
it's tough.
I've gotten to like I remember seeing Kuja like ascending up and like shit was going down, and then my save corrupted on my PSP.
Oh no.
Like the very
and-
last battle with Kuja where he destroys the crystal or whatever.
I don't think I even got to that point. I know that I was on the
Oh, I
last
think-
disc, and I was like pretty far into it, and like shit was kind of going down pretty heavy with Kuja, and it was probably like the third to last area of the
Okay.
game.
I know what
And
you're talking about. That's when he goes trance.
yeah,
I got my
yes,
first
that.
summon, and then I'd stopped playing shortly after that. So I feel like I got pretty far.
You did pretty good. That's pretty far in the game, actually. That's like I think that's more than halfway through the first disc, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, but
my
yeah,
sec-
like I need to go back and I need to beat that game because
We need to
it
go
haunts
back.
me.
We
Gotta
need
go
to
back.
My second game that I also think is perfect is Steamworld Heist, a game that you can very often get for like fucking $2, whether it's on Steam,
I've always
on
wondered about that
Switch, on like PlayStation, I think. But it's on sale on the Nintendo Store right now for $1.04 as we speak. Or no, that's Steam. Sorry, that's on Steam. Yeah,
Makes sense.
if you love tactics RPGs, it's awesome. Like instead of being like XCOM where it's like you have a 90% chance to blow this fucking alien's face off, but you somehow you get that 10% chance where you miss and then the alien murders your entire squad. That sucks ass, but not in SteamWorld Heist. No. If you can see it and you can get your gun to it or your bullets to it, whether it's by like fine aiming your scope or bouncing bullets off of like every single thing in sight and then finally hitting the enemy, you can do it. You can do it, man. There's different like classes for each character where again each character belongs to like a certain class, but they all play completely different from one another. Like no two characters really feel the same. Like they all develop different perks as they level up. This story maybe isn't the greatest ever, but I mean the gameplay rules, the atmosphere and the visuals rule, the music rules.
Just bought it.
It's
Sold.
it's only like maybe 15 to 20 hours long as well too, and it's great. Steamworld Heist, it's great, love it.
All you had to say was XCOM, and I'm in.
It's just 2D XCOM is really all it is. It's just 2D XCOM. It's yeah.
You know,
Rootin' tootin' XCOM.
Yeah.
I don't normally like those types of games. Like, I don't mind them, but it's not like my first go-to. But since I've been playing Mega Man Battle Network and finally realizing that I really like it, I'm like, maybe I should play some more of these, because Mega Man Battle Network is kind of like a weird mishmash of
Very weird.
like, yeah, it's cool though. I'm discovering things I didn't think I liked.
Man, yeah. Mega Man Battle Network is very weird. That's it though. That's the games we think are
That's it? Perfect.
Yeah, that's
That's it.
talked about the history of the show, Superpod
Uh-huh.
Saga.
And what's the future of the show gonna look like, huh? Huh? What's the next 100 episodes gonna be?
There's gonna be a lot of nudity. I think.
We'll finally get that on OnlyFans up and running. More Macho Man sounds. Yeah. Thank both of you dudes for coming on. Thank you, Tommy, for taking the time out of your beautiful Sunday for coming back on to Superpod Saga.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Gerry, for taking time out of your beautiful day as well, too, Mr. Man.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Again, just want to announce that my resignation from Superpod Saga is today. Unfortunately, you know, it's just it was a good run. It was a good run while I was the co-host here, but yeah, no, I'm totally kidding. Really, I was really excited actually when you messaged me and you were just like, "What if?" What if? And it was kind of like it was kind of the same conversation that you and I had with Retro Rehab, because we were just like constantly talking about retro games, and I was like, dude, but like, what if? And just hear me out. Hang on. What if we fucking had a show where we just did that as well? And we were like, that's fucking crazy. We can't fucking do that. And then we did it. And fucking
No,
here we
you
are.
hosted. No, you hosted.
And then yeah, like you just messaged me out of the blue one day. You're like, dude, fucking what if you were the co-host? And I was like, holy shit. Yep.
Yeah, so
I took like a full couple of seconds to think about it, and I was in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where these next 100 episodes go, man. I think I don't plan on really changing anything unless maybe like me to change like the opening, but that'd be it. It's still gonna be like random ass
Monumental
topics.
changes.
First
I could
off,
actually
no
make
more
you some
coffee breaks.
proper. Yeah, I could make you some proper intro music.
That'd be cool. Hey,
Oh,
now
may I
we got this-
suggest the Tetris theme? It's in the public domain.
Just a remix of that. I just add in over top of it.
the actual get this new Superpod intro is gonna be like a cover of "Fortunate Son" from CCR, but it's all like 8-bit.
That's not in the public domain.
Well, it is now. Can I like imitate it and not get sued?
No,
No.
that
No,
can
you
still,
can't.
yeah, you can still get
I'm
demonetized.
just
for that.
picturing you in the courtroom, and the judge is like, Aaron, this isn't in the public domain. And you just say, it is now.
What do you
Objection.
mean? I put it on the internet. It is public. Define domain. Hey, that's the show, everybody. I'm gonna go to prison for a couple years. Thank you, Tommy and Gerry, for coming on and talking about Macho Man and Perfect Games and Super Pod, Public Domain, Tetris, Poland, all that stuff. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.
Okay, bye.